Want to instantly uplevel your style without spending a fortune? In this video, I will show you 10 easy tips to transform your outfits from boring to effortlessly chic. My first tip doesn't involve buying any clothes at all, but it does involve getting them tailored to fit. So you may have to put in a little bit of an investment in this, but it's so worth it when your clothes fit you properly. The difference between a pair of trousers that fit you on the waistband versus ones that are a little bit loose and are constantly falling down and sitting more around your hips than highlighting your waist, or a coat that just kind of drowns you, the sleeves are too long, the body of it is too long, versus one that just really fits perfectly and is the perfect length. It makes all the difference, and having clothes that fit you properly make the clothing look more expensive. Generally speaking, clothes that fit well look like better quality. They look like they're made for you. So in that respect, they just look more expensive. You don't have to spend a fortune doing this. Sometimes each job can cost like £10 or $10, depending on where you live. But if it's as simple as getting a hem fixed, maybe you could go out and buy a needle and thread and just do a really simple hem yourself to that perfect length. You could probably learn how to do a hem on YouTube. The next tip is to accessorize strategically with your outfits. So depending on your personal style and what your style personality is, you will have a different taste in accessories and jewellery. Adding those pieces really add a finishing touch to your outfit. They make it look polished, they make it look intentional. It makes it look like you've put in effort, but in an effortless way. For me, I love to wear just a pair of gold earrings. Sometimes I wear necklaces, but in the winter and I'm wearing roll necks, it's probably pointless. I'll always wear some kind of rings to really add to my outfits, and I think rings are my favorite piece of jewelry. I have a lot of fun with my rings, and there was a point in time where I would wear like a ring on every finger. At the minute, I'm kind of a bit more into like one big chunky ring. So this ring from ITALO jewelry, for example, is a really nice piece to add to the simplest outfit. So things like that, like can you add a statement accessory or statement piece of jewelry? Maybe it's a statement bag or just something that really expresses your personality, because then you're kind of putting your own personal style stamp on it as well as putting in those finishing touches. Speaking of ITALO jewelry, I want to thank them for sponsoring a portion of today's video. They kindly sent me some pieces to try out, like this ring and a little tennis bracelet that we'll show you as well. They're all about creating those really beautiful pieces, but that are at an affordable price, so that everyone can have a little bit of a taste of luxury in their wardrobes. They're high quality and unique designs, but at an affordable price. ITALO jewelry also own and operate their own manufacturing facilities, so they can ensure everything is made with the highest quality by their artisan jewelry team. They have a really cool video on their website showing how some of their jewellery is made, and I think it's so fascinating just to see the process. It's nice to kind of see a little bit of behind the scenes. A lot of the time in fashion we don't get to see that. ITALO can create this affordable jewellery because they sell direct to the consumer instead of having a long supply chain. ITALO have loads of different styles to choose from, so I'm sure if you were looking for some new jewellery pieces, you will find something you're looking for. I will leave my discount code on the screen, and I will leave a link below to the pieces that I'm going to mention. So I'll show you how I style up these pieces as well. My next tip is to, instead of always just going for the same neutrals every season, to choose seasonal neutrals. Now this may depend on your own personal colour palette and what suits you, but at this time of year, for autumn in particular, autumn and winter, I love to kind of go for those warmer autumnal shades. So instead of just always opting for black, white, grey, I'm kind of looking at more browns and even some greens, like olive greens and mossy greens and things like that. Colours that I'm going to find in nature, and they just feel really grounded to the current season. As you can see behind me, I've kind of got a variety of different neutrals, especially loving this kind of khaki green at the moment. Like I mentioned, I've had a couple of new pieces into my wardrobe over the last few months in shades of green, and it's just been a really nice addition to my wardrobe, and I feel like it's elevated my style a little bit. Although the pieces are pretty much the same as what I would have already had, like tailored trousers, plain roll neck, a trench coat. So I know how to style them. Because they're in these more exciting colours, it kind of livens up my wardrobe a little bit. But I have made sure to choose them in shades of green that suit me. I have an autumn colour palette, so warm shades suit me. If you have a different colour palette or kind of a cooler undertone, you might want to go for those cooler shades. So more cool toned browns, more cool toned beiges. But of course, if you like your stark black, white, grey, that is absolutely fine. This is just a suggestion. I mentioned this in a recent video, but the next tip is to play with contrast. And I did a whole video about this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to link that video up here. But it's basically how you can use the same clothing you own, but mixing it in different ways means you're creating more interest, more visual interest in an outfit, whether that's mixing different textures, different colours, different end uses, different style personalities. And whatever you're kind of mixing together is giving you that really signature style that you have. You might mix some kind of tougher faux leather with some really soft knits. You might mix some dressier pieces with a pair of Converse or a pair of chunky boots to dress them down. Which leads me on to my next tip, which is to mix dressy with casual. I get so much more wear out of the pieces in my wardrobe when I mix the end uses. By end uses, I mean things that you would think maybe like smart workwear, everyday casual, more elevated pieces for like weddings and fancy occasions. When I mix those pieces together, say I wear like a nice slip skirt with a chunky jumper and a pair of boots, it just, one, it gives me that true sense of style because I've put it together in my own way. But two, it just gives me more opportunity to wear those dressier pieces in my everyday life. And it's also reducing the cost per wear of my dressier pieces because I'm getting more wear out of them. So it's kind of a win-win-win. Another way I love to do this is to wear the simplest jeans and a jumper outfit, very casual, and add in something really beautiful like a piece of jewellery, like this little tennis bracelet from ITALO jewellery. So this, I've had a tennis bracelet on my wish list for so long, and when I saw this one, I fell in love because it's like the perfect size for me as well. I have very tiny wrists and this fits me really well, but there are different sizes on their website, so you can get a bigger size if you don't have such small wrists. It's just really nice to be able to pick the perfect size as well, which is not always something I get. But I just think having these really delicate, beautiful, dressier pieces that you may expect to only wear for those dressy occasions, pairing them with your everyday outfits creates this really beautiful juxtaposition and makes your outfits so much more interesting. And while it's great to have, one bracelet or one necklace, you can also layer your jewellery as well. So get in the habit of mixing things up. Wear more than one necklace at a time. Wear something shorter and then maybe like a longer style, or wear a couple of bracelets together. Again, the way you mix your various pieces together is how you show your own authentic style, and it's gonna look so effortless when you put things like this together. You might have something super delicate like a tennis bracelet or a really dainty little chain bracelet, and you might put it with something chunky and kind of mix and match those two opposing styles. Likewise, you might have a really delicate necklace and then you might layer on a longer, chunkier chain to go with that. They don't always have to be opposing styles. They can obviously just be two pieces that go really well together, but it can be nice to work either way. And if you have a few ear piercings as well, it can be really nice to layer up on the earrings and just create something a little bit personal. At this time of year, it's a really great time to focus on your outerwear. I think outerwear is key when the weather gets colder, and a lot of the time people don't see the outfits you have on underneath. So you're wearing your thermals, you're wearing your coziest knitwear, just something to keep warm, and you're going to put a massive coat over the top. Make sure your coats are looking good. Get them dry cleaned if you have to. That's like the only thing I will dry clean is a coat, because I have a long cream coat right here, and I've had to get that dry cleaned because it gets so dirty wearing it out and about in London. But it makes me feel like I look more put together when I have it clean and steamed and everything. No creases, no dirt. Going back to that first point as well is to make sure it's tailored to fit and that it fits you really well. Either shop from a brand that you know fits you well, or if you're willing to get something tailored, then you have that option as well. I'm loving really cozy, oversized coats at the minute, and I've recently added a couple of new coats into my wardrobe, and I think I'm absolutely set for the rest of autumn and winter. But it's really nice to have more variety in my wardrobe. I think for the last couple of years I was just wearing the same winter coat all winter long, which basically starts in like October and goes through to like March, winter weather wise. So it's nice for me to be able to switch things up a little bit more and have those pieces that maybe I have one that's a little bit more casual, or one that's a bit more edgy, one that's a bit dressier, and things like that. Another way you can elevate your outfits very effortlessly is by rethinking your footwear, like making sure you're choosing the right shoes for your outfits. So for example, some outfits, if you're wearing something a little bit more oversized, you may not want to go for a super chunky shoe, because then the whole outfit just feels really heavy and oversized and big. If you go for a more delicate, maybe like a little kitten heel or a ballet flat, that can really balance out that oversizedness of the rest of the outfit. On the other hand, if you're wearing something super casual like jeans and a jumper, you might want to dress this up with a really nice little kitten heel, or like I said, really nice ballet flat, something like that. That would look a lot more put together than if you're just to throw on a pair of trainers or Converse. I do love my Converse, I wear them all the time, but I like to actually mix them with my more tailored trousers. So I'm kind of dressing down my tailored trousers a little bit that would naturally be a bit smarter, but I'm choosing Converse to dress them down. Whereas if I was to wear my tailored trousers and put a kitten heel with that, that almost feels too dressy. So I go dressy trousers, casual shoes, casual trousers, dressy shoes. And that's kind of how I like to, and this all again goes back to the idea of contrast. So if you do want to know more about that, definitely check out that video. The next tip is to add a statement piece to your outfits. So if you're like me and you have a bit more of a capsule wardrobe, you tend to shop with a lot of neutrals and invest in your basics, and so you just have more of a basics wardrobe. It's really nice to have a handful of statement pieces that you can use to elevate some outfits when you need to. For example, I have a leopard print suit, like a blazer and a pair of like wide leg culottes. And they are two pieces that I can add to my simpler outfits when I need something that's a little bit more interesting than just like a black blazer or a beige blazer. I can pop on a leopard print blazer and it just looks a lot more statement, it looks a lot more fun. It injects a little bit of my personality because I really like leopard print. I think it's fun and I think it's a little bit edgy, but it's quite quirky as well, and I like that element of my style in there. It doesn't have to be leopard print, it could be a really bold colour that you love that really suits you. It could be a different kind of print. Again, doesn't even have to be a blazer, but I feel like blazers and jackets are a really handy thing to just throw on over a really basic base outfit. So they're great pieces, but again, it could be a statement bag, a statement pair of shoes, maybe a leopard print shoe like I also have. I love a little hints of red as well for a statement because it's really eye-catching. Whatever it is to you, like it can be any item in your outfit, but just like one piece that just really elevates the most basic outfit by just adding one statement piece. And if you don't have any statement pieces in your wardrobe, this can again be statement jewelry or statement accessories. Now, to tuck or not to tuck. If you are not the kind of person who tucks your jumpers or tops in very often, this can be a great thing to experiment with because it's free. And it literally is just changing exactly what you would normally wear, but changing up the proportions of your outfit a little bit. So say you're someone who maybe you have a longer torso and shorter legs, or you are just kind of petite and you want to elongate your legs and make yourself look a bit taller. Doing a little front tuck, like a little French tuck, is such a great way to lengthen your legs, draw the eye up your body and kind of really highlight your natural waist. So it's more of like that 1/3, 2/3 proportions. So torso is 1/3 and then the legs are kind of 2/3. And that rule of thirds is used a lot in art and design, and it's just apparently more aesthetically pleasing. If you don't like to fully tuck in your clothes, maybe you're a little bit belly conscious, hip conscious, bum conscious, whatever the reason is, doing a tiny little front tuck can be a really great way to, like I said, highlight your waist, but not feel too exposed at the same time. And this is how I tuck in all my jumpers. Sometimes I'll wear them really loose and it's a really nice casual vibe, but if I want to feel like a little bit more put together, I will just do a little tuck and it'll just feel a little bit more thought through. And the final tip is to play with layers. Especially in the autumn and winter, layers are so important for keeping us warm, but they also add so much interest to our outfits. So for example, I love to wear a roll neck underneath maybe like a shirt or a jacket instead of just wearing the shirt on its own buttoned up. I'm kind of adding a little bit more visual interest by having a bit of a roll neck on show. I might even just wear my shirt open and wear it kind of as a jacket, and then I'm having that kind of the 3 pieces in my outfit rather than just the 2. And it's just adding more interest. You might have maybe a sleeve of something poking out the bottom of a shirt. You might try layering some roll necks and shirts underneath sleeveless dresses or sleeveless knitwear, and then you're kind of getting more wear out of your sleeveless items this time of year as well. And sometimes even with a v-neck dress, I would like to layer a roll neck underneath it, again just for that warmth element. Also, I'm getting more wear out of my pieces because if it wasn't warm enough, I wouldn't wear it at this time of year, so the cost per wear would be down. And some of my favourite pieces that I wear throughout the warmer months, I just love them. They're really core pieces in my style, and I need to be able to carry that through autumn and winter to really feel grounded in my personal style. At the end of the day, style is about having fun and experimenting and trying new things, and it doesn't always have to be at the expense of going out and buying new things. It can literally be digging into your wardrobe and seeing how you can mix things up in different ways. Like I said, I have a whole video about playing with contrast, contrasting shapes, contrasting textures, contrasting style personalities. So I will link that on the screen here if you haven't seen that already. I will link another playlist as well on the screen for you to check out. It's more ways for you to maximize your wardrobe, maximize the clothes you already own without having to go out and buy any more. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment because I love to hear from all of you. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to ITALO Jewellery for sponsoring this video. I will leave a discount code for them on the screen again so you don't miss it. All the details for the pieces I've shared will be in the description box, and I'll see you really soon in my next video.